quick.
All right, Charles, man, we're recording. Okay.
Hey, I know it,
So,
man. I'm ready. I'm here.
okay, great. You're walking exactly down some street in the middle of Detroit right now, right?
I am in Detroit, man. I'm right here off of Park and Woodward.
Man, that's
Park and
good
Woodward
stuff.
Diamond. I
So
don't know what that is, but that building's been here for a long time.
I grew up outside of Detroit in Dearborn, the home of Ford Motor Company. Today, it has the largest Arab American population in the United States, and it's a key part of the political environment for this election. So, appreciate you being there with our fieldwork team in Michigan. Here's what I want to do this morning. We're going to do a tight, relatively shorter podcast this morning. We're probably going to come back later today and do a second one.
20 minutes, man. We got 20 minutes on this one. You hit the 30-minute mark last time. Let's do 20 this time.
Okay, I'm looking at okay, got it. So, 2016, I knew that Donald Trump was going to win the presidency when they called Michigan for Donald Trump. All right, that was the moment because it was the crack in what's known as the blue wall, the three states of the upper Midwest, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, that have traditionally long time voted for Democrats. When they called Michigan for Trump, it was the moment, and he ended up winning the state by about 11,000 votes, the same amount that Joe Biden roughly won Georgia and Arizona each in 2020. So
Yeah,
it's
so 40,000 votes total across three states.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Um, After that election in 2016, the Michigan Democrats, the Wisconsin Democrats, and the Pennsylvania Democrats, the party leadership in all three of those states, went back to the drawing board and started to assess their leadership and their approaches and their way of work. We want to focus this podcast specifically on the state of Michigan, because Common Power's been involved in there from the beginning of 2018, and at our kickoff launch, on August 3rd, Saturday, August 3rd, that we're going to be announcing at the Mohi. Am I correct that the Michigan State Democratic Chair?
So oh yeah, so we've got two events though. So we've got the August 1st event, which is completely virtual.
Oh, okay.
That one is going to be a lot of detail about what's going on in the field, a ton. August 3rd is more of a celebration, and that's when we got the Michigan Dem chair coming in.
Okay, awesome.
Lavora Barnes is her name, and she's coming in along with the Ohio Dem chair. That's right.
Okay. Well, we started working there in 2018, and our focus in 2018 was the governor's election of Gretchen Whitmer. And we worked specifically in the 7th Congressional District, where Alyssa Slotkin, one of a collection of kind of national security experienced congressional people, began to run for the Democrats. Slotkin won narrowly. She won again in 2020 narrowly. We were there to work for her. You and me in the middle of the pandemic, and I'll ask you about that in a second. And then we were there.
Hold on. Let's 2018. That's a big deal because it was Ron Posthuma and that first year of CP out in Alyssa Slotkin's farm.
Oh, right.
Her family farm, I think in Lansing, and she remembers us from that first experience because who was out there doing that? She remembers us for that. And then let me go ahead.
People on that team, they talk about it in like legendary reverential terms. They're like, man, that trip.
Is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because who's launching door knockers from a farm, okay, and who's coming from out of state to do that kind of thing, let alone come out to a farm. The other piece is Alyssa Slotkin is not just some federal somebody. Like she was the one who was handing the intelligence briefings to Bush and then Obama. So she was pretty high up there before she decided to step away. And the thing that motivated her, she said, was the Trump presidency.
She has from the beginning been a very pragmatic, progressive. All right. somebody who's definitely supports women's rights and reproductive rights and healthcare and education, fight against climate change, and also is like, look, we have some real serious national security concerns we have to pay attention to here. All right. So
Yeah, and she's a millennial. She's a millennial, and she definitely cuts across difference. She knows how to talk to the people of Michigan. She knows how to talk to the rural folks. She knows how to talk to the Muslim population here, and she knows how to talk to the large African American population. I wanted to pause on Alyssa because she's so important
right. Yeah.
to what victory looks like in Michigan. I know that Gretchen Whitmer is going to get a lot of credit, but I think Alyssa Slotkin is also right up there.
Well,
So
starting in 2018, the state
yeah,
of Michigan has adopted two voting reform laws that have put into place absentee balloting for anybody. It's put into place for the first time in-person early voting. It created a new redistricting commission that draws congressional districts and House legislative districts. It they have flipped the state Supreme Court to a more progressive court. And the amount of changes in that, they now are now the first state in the country to have automatic voter registration for people who were incarcerated for felony convictions. That when they return to, after doing their time into society, they are automatically voter registered. They're the
it's
first state to do that. It's amazing.
groundbreaking. Yep.
So
Yeah.
Michigan is this incredible beacon of progress, and you're there right now. And Slotkin is running for the Senate race this
Yeah,
year.
but
So
hold on. Before we get to today, I just want to acknowledge one that Puya Suri is on the call with us. And we're talking about 2018. Uh, in terms of the timeline of CP and how we've operated, but Puya, who is now going to tell us, on this call, he's going to tell us about what we're doing today in Michigan this year. Puya wasn't even old enough to drink when we were on the farm in Michigan. So and now Puya knows enough about what's going on in the state to not only help us to figure out where we need to work, but he's done his own research. So Puya, you got permission to jump in here if you've got any facts as we get closer to the years where you're an actual adult here. Okay.
That's right. No, yeah. I mean, in 2020, yeah, in the midterms 22, actually, David and I were in Lansing together, actually, knocking on doors for Slotkin. And
yep.
then we drove to Grand Rapids and knocked on doors for Hillary Skolton. So yeah, it was a really good experience. And we had like a handful of people because it was a bit more of a last minute decision. But we still did like a few thousand doors. It was a great experience. Getting to know her and met her, and she remembered us actually. She had a event with Jamie Raskin, and when she stepped outside, she was like, "Oh, Common Power." She took a picture with us and all that kind of stuff. She talked about how we went to the farm in 2018, so she clearly like that was a memorable experience for her. That we came through for her in 2018.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Slotkin's race here in a moment. Our goal in these updates each day, these conversations, is to give a little bit of what's going on right now and a little bit of CP and a lot of perspective. So Puya, I want to talk about you for a second. We're 8 minutes into this. Charles, don't worry, we haven't hit the 20-minute mark yet. We're 8 minutes in.
Okay, man, keep it tight. Keep it tight.
Again, Puya, what grade were you in 2018?
2018, I was a sophomore in high school.
You're a full-time employee for us at Common Power right now. In
Mm-hmm.
2018, if you would have made a guess of what you were going to be doing in 2024 in the election, might have been law school or something like that.
Oh, it wasn't even politics. That's the funny part. It was like I was on the path to go to medical school. And
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't not even politics. In 2019, I began to like 2018 sophomore year learn more about politics, U.S. history. Luke Mishner was my AP U.S. history teacher, and he opened my eyes. I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know the history." Right? I was an immigrant that just immigrated a few years back. Um, and he was such a good teacher to connect the history to today, and the connections were just like wow, like it would be wrong for me not to do something. That literally after a few weeks of being in his class, I went up to him and was like, Luke, Mr. Michener at the time, right? How can I do something? Like, what can I do to help and learn how to organize? I literally went up to him, and asked him, and he taught me how to do it. And yeah, he put me on the path.
That's incredible. And then you went through our Action Academy program, our Next
That's right.
Generation Action Academy program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's right.
Became a crew lead after that, which means you went back and helped to lead again.
Yes, that's right. And I became a state team lead for Georgia as well, for the midterm. And then I essentially moved to Atlanta in 2022. Working with Charles as his assistant, which was an amazing, wild, crazy experience. And here I am today, working with fieldwork.
You're an embodiment of what Common Power seeks to build, Puya, which is this next generation diverse leadership. I mean, this is core to us. So look, no matter what happens in any single election, that's a long-term mission for us, and we're doing it, and you embody that. And man, we're so proud of you and appreciative of you. I remember when Charles started telling me about this guy named Puya, and then Larcy be like, "Oh yeah, Puya, he's great," and then Luke's like, "Hey, there's this dude named Puya." Luke now, by the way, is a part-time contractor with us. All right. So you brought Luke over. Nice work. Nice work. But everybody was raving about Puya. And here's what I know about you, Puya, is man, you are a person of integrity and responsibility. All right. You do what you say you're going to do, and you do it with heart and with care. And man, we're so grateful and appreciative. And you're standing, I don't know, literally on the street or down the street from Charles right now in Michigan, and we're grateful.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I will say we had to kick him in the ass a little bit in the beginning, but those are those are the best ones. The ones you got to kick in the ass a little bit to get started. But so we're on the street in Michigan, but we had just now finished with the team leads in Michigan.
That's right.
We get not in person though, on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
On Zoom. That's right. That's right.
So what were you doing in that?
Yeah. What was that call about, man? And who was on the call with you first? So who are our team leads in Michigan?
No, yeah. So we had Ron Pashima. We got him back. He was in team lead 2018, 22, 2020, and now he's coming back. We got Matthew Oatkirk, who is a contractor with CP, doing marketing and field work. Has been on a
college
bunch of
student
trips.
in Maryland, right?
A college student from Maryland, that's right. We got Nathaniel Histy, who's a college student from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, also a contractor and does work with us in field work. And we also had Mary Orth, who's a CP community member. She was in Georgia with Charles and I actually for the runoff election, and a close friend of Mary Ingram, who does work with CP as well. So those are the team leads for Michigan. Across three different generations and 3 different ethnicities and racial lines. So embodiment of what we're trying to do at CP, doing this work multiracially and multi-generationally. And the call was to set the stage essentially.
Real quick,
for what we're going to do.
Yeah, what was that call?
Yeah. The call was to essentially set the stage for the next 4 months. How many trips we're taking, which locations we're hitting, which candidates we're supporting, and really talking about how we're going to divide this work, and who's going to do what. And the folks who are interested in Michigan, please go on Mobilize and sign up for Team Michigan. So Mary, in a few days, is going to send out an email with the sign-up form, and the overview document for what is happening in Michigan and what Common Power will be doing. So if you're interested, please sign up for Team Michigan on Mobilize.
Okay, we got a couple minutes to wrap up here, but I want to ask you one question, Puya. I appreciate the overview. We appreciate the overview, but I want to get to the emotional tenor of that call. All right. I want to get a sense from you as a leader of like how people are feeling, our leadership is feeling in this moment, Tuesday, July 15th, 2024. What's the feeling given everything that's going on?
I think the best word for it would be they're focused. There was no talk of, oh, I don't know if I want to do this work, or I'm feeling stressed or scared. There was a sense of we gotta go. There's no time to waste. So immediately within a couple minutes on the call, do the intro, and they're like, "What do we do? What is our next steps?" Right? So there is no sense of let's wait and see, or like they're ready to go.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's it. We are ready to go. We are not getting ready to go. We are ready to go. And that's what we've learned over time, and what Charles as a leader drives us towards. We don't get ready, we stay ready. All right.
That's right. So just we are going to be in Michigan for a couple more days. We're going to have some meetings today with some members of the community, the Muslim community, the African American community, the Latino community, and it's being convened by folks from the API community, and it's everybody from religious leaders, faith leaders, to young 20-something influencers, and everybody in between. So we're having some really good conversations. We're going to go to the communities where they are. We're going to meet them there. We're going to gain permission to enter some of these places, and then have some of the elders kind of lead us through some of the conversations. The lieutenant governor is going to show up at some point today. Alyssa Slotkin's campaign is going to show up tomorrow. Some of the key House members here in the state and the API community are going to show up. So we're going to have a lot to talk about that's going to come out of that. This is a private kind of convening that's going on to set the stage for convincing these communities to come together and vote for Democrats in the fall. So it's a big lift. There were 100,000 people who voted uncommitted in the primary here. According to data, it looks like at least another 100,000 are moving away from us. And it's a tough hill to climb, but these are the folks who are going to do it, and we're going to be right here helping them.
I'm sure you're going to go to Dearborn. Okay.
Oh yeah.
While you're there,
sure.
When you're in Dearborn, text me, man. And let me know where you are. You're probably not right by my house where I grew up, but you might be close. And I'll give you a little. We used to call them bungalows. They were very small homes. Totally a working class suburb of Detroit.
Yeah, I will. Totally. I'll go to the Muslim community and see if anyone knows David Domke.
Exactly. That side of the town just used to win all the sports games I was in. That was my set of experience.
That's what you remember.
Yeah, I'd lose all the time.
You gotta come back, man. We gotta update your thoughts about Dearborn, Michigan, and the whole state.
So last thing this morning, because things are moving. Today, the former President Donald Trump is going to announce his vice presidential pick later today. We'll come back and we'll do another recording later today where we'll just talk about that and any other developments today. But I feel like the election has begun today. It begins again today. The campaign begins today. The Republican convention kicks off today. Joe Biden is doing a live interview with Lester Holt of NBC this evening. And so we start again today. All right. We're ready to go. We're getting intel from our partner organizations. You're all there. I'm here. We're going. So we're going, folks. Everybody who's listening, we need you. We need you. We need your engagement. We need your heart. We need your belief. This is us together, hands in, metaphorically, everybody, right now. All right.
Let's do it. Okay. We're hopping off.
See you guys later. Yep.
Take care.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.